What's up, guys, and welcome back to another monthly RPG video. This is February, and this is where it all happens. Everything starts now. January, we had a little bit of a lull. We had some surprising games like Pal World and Prince of Persia come out that were incredibly good, way more of anything than I thought they were going to be, which was awesome. But February, right off the bat, everything kicks off and we are into go season. So I hope you're ready. I hope your wallets are ready. I hope that you have some time set aside to play some amazing games because they are coming. And we're starting right away. The very first day, February 1st, is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. We've been talking about this one for a long time, and it's finally coming out. Demo is out if you want to try it. I stayed the heck away from that stuff because I knew that I wanted to play it. I knew that I was going to play this one. I knew that I was getting it, so I haven't touched it. I didn't watch anything else. I just left it alone, and it's on its way. I'm getting it. I think actually probably the second, if I'm honest. I doubt very much it'll be here on the day, which is annoying. But it's coming, and I'm super incredibly excited. If you have tried it, you know this is looking amazing. It's an action RPG. It's got tons of characters to play and pick from with all their different styles. Kind of like your standard level of play, and then there's a lot of depth there that you can get into if you so desire, but you don't have to. What they've kind of said is it's like 20 to 30 hours for like your standard playthrough, but well over 100 hours if you want to do everything. That's like perfect, right? Because then if you just are trying to get to the next game, you can beeline through the main story. I never quite do that, but I don't also typically do like 100% unless I'm absolutely in love with the game. So, I'm thinking probably 40, 50, maybe 60 hours for me. We'll see what it is like, but like that's perfect. That's exactly what I want. I'm so incredibly excited for this. It's looking incredible, and we're going to have a great time. So that's PS5, PS4, and PC. I don't know if this is ever going to come to any, like, Xbox or anything. It's definitely not coming to Switch, although it's possible if the Switch successor comes out that it will port there. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe it will. If it goes well, it'll port to other consoles. We'll just have to see. This is going to be a good one. So be ready for this. Then what's ridiculous is right after that on the 2nd is Persona 3 Reload.
That's the Dark Hour. A time period hidden between one day and the next.
They only appear during the Dark Hour and attack anyone who roams free outside the coffin.
The remake of Persona 3, one of the most beloved in that series. 3, 4, and 5, though, are all pretty high up there, and it looks incredible. Holy crap, man. This is, basically, it kind of took Persona 5 and then changed some of the, the aesthetics to fit with Persona 3, but they've completely reworked the systems. It's not just a visual upgrade on Persona 3. They've touched up the combat and the systems on how it works and the confidant setup and all the stuff. This is completely reworked to fit a modern age for this awesome classic. This one looks absolutely incredible. Unfortunately, because it's coming out like the same basic day, one day after Grand Blue Fantasy, that means that, at least for me, it's going to be waiting. And this one also is on Game Pass. This one is on everything except Switch, right? So if you have PC or Xbox or PlayStation, you can get it on any one of those, and it is on Game Pass. So that's an option. If you want to own your games, then Game Pass isn't the way, right? But it does offer an opportunity to play it, and especially when there's so many good games out. Like, probably for me, it's going to be Game Pass to start, and then later down the line, I will probably pick it up from PS5 physically just to have it. Although, it's kind of hard when there's so many games coming out, so probably like maybe when it goes on sale down the road or something. I'm super excited for this one as well. I don't know where it's gonna fit unless I can really get some time to seriously play some games and knock through some stuff. It's gonna be difficult, but I want to play it. The thing is, Persona games are 80 to 100 hours easy, right? So That's a lot of time. So that might be one that I kind of worked through. I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a side game. Let me know what games you guys are interested in seeing me stream, and we can try to figure that out and work through something that way. Yeah, but that's not it adds up, right? So Persona 3 Reload looks absolutely incredible, and whichever way you go, if you are playing one of these, you're going to be looking pretty good. Coming up after that on the 13th, which comes out on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC, and that's Banisher's Ghost of Eden. Now, this one got pushed out of last year. It was originally slated for 2023, and then the ending of the year got just slammed with games, and they pushed it into this year, which seemed like a good idea at the time until until all the games got announced for February, and now it's smack in the middle of them anyway. You kind of feel for this. This is Focus Entertainment, okay, who we got some weird thing about their name changing, whatever. We'll look into that later. But Banishers actually looks pretty good. It's got a little bit of like The Witcher or a little bit of Greedfall in there, which makes sense, right? That's another Focus game. It looks to be kind of an emotional story, right? It's like a couple were like ghost hunters, and then she dies, and so now it's like I'm not sure if you're going to be having the choice or if you're just living the life, but somehow it's like he's got to figure out, does he kill people to get her back? I don't know. It's a very interesting kind of story how they've set it up, and I don't know enough about it, but from what I've seen, the trailers all look pretty darn good, and so this one is going to fall way down the line for me, but I'm actually looking forward to it. I think more than I thought I was, and so this is definitely going to be one that I'm going to have keep on the radar, keep on the wish list, and pick up when there's a lull in the season. Hopefully there's a lull in the season, but one of these months where there's nothing to play or don't have something that I'm playing, and be working on that. I think it does look pretty good. So yeah, at least keep it on your radar. I definitely think that it's going to be worth a play at some point. All right, coming up next on February 20th, this is a PC-only title, is The Thaumaturge.
I miss the old days when things seemed so simple. Even if we already knew back then, we may never be truly free.
Think Disco Elysium is kind of where this one's at. It's isometric, story-rich RPG. It has kind of a weird take on turn-based combat. There's a lot of character development stuff. That's got investigation mechanics, right? So that's kind of where I'm getting some of that Disco Elysium vibe from. And obviously it's in this kind of CRPG style. It's going to have those morally ambiguous choices, and it's got like some kind of mystery and powers and ethereal beings, and it's set in the early 1900s. So to me, there's a lot of that Disco Elysium vibes. There's a lot of that kind of mystery CRPG stuff. So if that's your cup of tea, that's definitely worth a look. I think it looks incredible. I don't know when I would ever get to play that, but I think if you are into the CRPG genre, then this will be right up your alley. If you enjoyed Baldur's Gate and are looking for something in that similar vein, this would be an option to look at. So this is a PC only title, so just know that, but it doesn't look like it's going to be super graphically intensive, so you probably don't need super new hardware to run it, but it looks good. Coming up next on February 21st, it's a lot of these kind of one day after. I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't remember that being a thing, but whatever. Last Epoch. This is basically like a Diablo-like. Okay, this has been in Kickstarter and early access for a while. I feel like a couple of years. maybe several years. It's been around for a while. I mean, it's very Diablo-like, right? There's a lot of character customization and hack and slash RPG stuff. There's skill trees and building out your character and going through this, I'm not sure how much of the story there is. If you guys have been in early access, comment down below and let me know what it's been like. I think visually it looks good from what I've heard from the developer, especially the director guy behind it. It sounds good. If you like Diablo, this sounds like a really good option. It's huge, right? Lots and lots of hours you can put into something like this. And to go, full access, obviously, is always a good thing. This early access and Kickstarter hasn't always ended up in a produced product, right? They have very regularly fallen off, and this one has been in the works and kept in the works until it was done. So I think there's a lot of hope there, and that's a good thing. Yeah, if you like your Diablo style games, then this should be right up your alley. On that same day, if you are not a Diablo fan, there's Bandle Tale. This is part of that kind of League of Legends story, right? So League of Legends has been putting out these different kind of single story games, and they actually have been pretty decent so far. Pretty good. Arcane obviously is a League of Legends story. That's a show, but that's absolutely incredible. So I like what they're doing there because I don't want to play League of Legends, but I think their characters can be pretty cool. And this one is very different. It's like a cozy game, right? It's like a farming and relationship, and I'm not sure. I think I saw some combat in there. If I'm wrong, let me know. But seems very kind of Animal Crossing or Harvest Moon or Rune Factory. That style of game. And so if you're a cozy game player, then this is for you, right? And I actually enjoy a cozy game from here and there, right? Every once in a while I like to play some Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons or something. It's not my bread and butter, it's not what I focus on, but it's kind of nice to lay back sometimes and just fall into that loop, right? Especially the Story of Seasons or Harvest Moon. In those kind of games, I don't necessarily need the combat. I just like the loop of farming and talking to people and getting better stuff, and then farming and talking to people and mining, and that constant loop where you're just like one more day. I love that. So again, it's not an all-the-time thing, but it's a nice thing to fall back into once in a while and just kind of reset for another big RPG, right? After that, on the 29th, we got 2 games, believe it or not. I know you're probably only thinking of one, but there's actually another game that looks pretty good. And again, I have no idea when I'm going to get to it, but I actually really hope to. And that's Goblin Slayer: Another Adventure.
多彩かつ美麗な戦闘マップでドットキャラクターを自由に操作。あなたの采配が一等を勝利に導く。
This is a Switch and PC only game, at least for now. And this is a original story in the Goblin Slayer universe, which if you haven't watched is an anime that's pretty dark and heavy, but really good, I think. And this is surprisingly a strategy RPG like Final Fantasy Tactics, and it actually looks to be a legit RPG. A lot of times these anime games come out and they're kind of, throwaway, they're trash, right? Where they don't put a lot of effort into. And this doesn't look like that. Original story that has full voice acting. I think it might be the original people, but the game itself actually looks well put together and thought out. We'll see, right? Maybe it's not, and I'm off my rocker here, but it looks like it is. And that's actually pretty cool. I'm excited to give that one a shot. Again, I don't know when, though. So if that's something you're looking forward to, maybe give a shot and let me know if it's good or whatever. And it's going to just kind of stay on my radar until, again, I can find a spot. This month is too packed. Because obviously the next game I'll talk about, is probably a little bit bigger. So, Goblin Slayer: Another Adventure Nightmare Feast. Whatever that means. But I think there's some real possibility for a cool game in there. So, keep an eye out on that, especially if you like strategy RPGs, which I do. I love strategy RPGs. So, that looks right up my alley, and I definitely want to play that. So, We'll see. All right, coming up next is, of course, the big one, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
We have to help them.
Let's get to work.
On the 29th is a PS5 only title, and it's looking ridiculous. I am so excited for this. I loved Remake. I know I've talked about that a little bit on this channel. Remake was incredible. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, I love getting into the story changes and all the different things that are happening there. I enjoyed Final Fantasy VII Original back in the day. I was a kid when I played that. My brother and I loved that game. I remember all of the stuff, right? Getting Knights of the Round and all it took to get there, and fighting the weapons and all the crazy stuff in that game. Just an amazing story that draws you in, all that kind of stuff. This game, oh man, it just looks absolutely incredible. The characters, you get to see, Red 13 in your party, Vincent, you're gonna see Sid and Yuffie coming together, all of that stuff, the open world, the gold saucer. I mean, I'm just so incredibly excited for this game. I don't know how many hours it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be a lot, which is scary because there's some incredible games coming out in March that we got to find time for. Like I said, the season has started, so if you don't have a backlog or don't have much of a backlog, you are about to, because so many games look incredible, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is going to sit, right there towards the top. It just looks so good. Same with the other games. We got so many good games this month, and then next month's going to be crazy in March, so I would say tell your significant other you're going to be busy. Just kidding, don't do that. Man, so much to play. I hope you guys can find time for it and, work through it out. Let me know what you're choosing to play. Obviously, I've talked about a lot of games here, and I'm not going to have time for all of them. I'm just going to try to work through them, but it's going to be a while. It's going to take me time, and we're going to work on it. I think for me, it's Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, and if I can finish it fast enough, I will play Persona 3, and then Final Fantasy VII Rebirth when it comes out. And then the rest of that stuff is going to be kind of on the back burner, for when there's some time. March comes up, we got a bunch of games coming up in March, and I don't know where they're going to fit either, so here we go. Time to go, time to play, time to work through it. And man, it's an exciting time, especially if you're an RPG person. There's a ton coming out, a lot of amazing games, and it's so easy to fall into that trap of having to play them the day one kind of deal. And I definitely do that, right? I definitely fall into that. But it's okay to take your time, right? It's all right to take your time and play them when you get to them. And that will be my story. I don't have time to play all of these games at that rate. So, yeah. So I hope you'll stick with me as I cover these games. I'm going to talk about them, all the ones that I play. We'll do videos. Let me know if you're interested in more than just reviews. You want first impressions, or you want walkthroughs or anything like that, or if you want a full stream of a certain game or whatever. Let me know what you want. Let me know what you're looking at and what you'd hope for, and we'll try to figure that out for the channel. Really appreciate you guys. You guys have all been awesome. So make sure if you enjoyed this video, you hit that like button. That helps out a ton. If you're new around here, subscribe and comment down below on what game you're looking to pick up. As always, thank you so much for watching, and good hunting.